Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is June 23rd, 2024. And I want to talk about where we are today and take a look at all of this information we have been following as we have been watching June 23rd through June 24th. The first reason we are watching this is because the Revelation 12 sign revealed Jupiter as the man-child. Very important part of Revelation 12, 1 and 2 is Jupiter being revealed as the man-child, as Jupiter was within Virgo for 10 months during this birth sign that took place on September 23rd, 2017. The second part of Revelation 12 shows the dragon wanting to devour the child, and this was December 21st, 2020, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, the Great Conjunction. Saturn, the dragon, known as Kronos, who devours the children, Jupiter being the child, the man-child revealed to us in Revelation chapter 12. This was a sign that kicked off a 1,260-day time period where the woman fled into the wilderness, where she would be fed for 1,260 days. Exactly on the 1,260th day was the Devil Comet closest to Earth, June 2nd, 2024. The Devil Comet closest to Earth, as Satan is going to be thrown out very soon into the Earth. This Devil Comet closest to Earth represents this fulfillment. And then we have a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and this represents the 21-day war in heaven shown to us in the book of Daniel. 21-day war in heaven. That brings us to where we are now, June 23rd. June 23rd being Pentecost on the Orthodox calendar, and also based on the full moon of June 22nd being Sivan 14 at the full moon of June 22nd, then we can know that June 23rd is Sivan 15. Now we are watching Sivan 15 as Exodus 19:1 says, in the third month when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. And so as Israel left Egypt in the first month, on the 15th day, the day after Passover, they left Egypt. Exodus 19:1 shows that in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day. So on Sivan 15, they came into the wilderness of Sinai. That is where we are today. Today is Sivan 15. Yesterday in Israel, June 22nd at 4 a.m. in the morning, was the full moon of Israel. That is Sivan 14. The Hebrew calendar already shows June 22nd being the 16th of Sivan. That is not correct. We can know based on the full moon. The full moon is our best guide. It's our true guide. It is what God has given to us in the heavens to understand where we are. The sun, moon, and stars were given for signs and seasons. And so June 22nd being the full moon is the 14th of Sivan, making today, June 23rd, the true 15th day of Sivan. This is where we are today. Sivan 15, in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. If we continue reading on in Exodus chapter 19, we're going to see that God told Israel to prepare for the third day from Sivan 15. Prepare for the third day, because on the third day I will come down to the people out of the mountain. Exodus 19:10 and 11. The Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments, and be ready for the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. So we have revealed in Exodus chapter 19 the 15th day of Sivan. This is where we are today. This is the 15th day of Sivan, June 23rd. Then it is revealed that they are to wait for the third day, and on the third day God will come down out of the mountain and reveal himself to the people. It was on the third day, Sivan 18, the third day from Sivan 15, Sivan 18, that the trumpet of God sounded. The trumpet of God sounded long on the third day from Sivan 15, Sivan 18. So this is where we are today on June 23rd, 2024. The first thing we need to understand is the three eclipses over the Americas. August 21st, 2017. The next eclipse over the United States, April 8th, 2024. And the middle day of these two eclipses was another eclipse over South America, December 14th, 2020. Three eclipses, and we have our middle day. Then on this week of December 14th, we had three events that took place. The first event was in the United Kingdom on December 8th. The first man to get the COVID shot in the UK is named William Shakespeare. The second person, but the first man, William Shakespeare. Okay, 1,290 days from this brings us to the summer solstice and the Midsummer Night's Dream of William Shakespeare. Okay, you see how this is all playing out as a stage for the world to watch. Do you want to understand William Shakespeare, 1,290 days, his Midsummer Night's Dream, the summer solstice, 1,290 days. The next event that happened was December 11th, 2020, when FDA approves the first COVID-19 vaccine for Pfizer. And this happened on December 11th. And 1,290 days from there is June 23rd, 2024. This is where we are today. But the middle day between the two eclipses was the big day, December 14th. And on this day, the first jab took place in the United States, December 14th, 2020. On the middle day between the two eclipses, and the sign being the United States. In the United States, the first jab was December 14th. And so if we go to December 14th and the first jab, and we look at Daniel 12:11, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. The abomination being set up. Where is the abomination being set up? In the middle of the week. This is the week, and here's the middle of the week. December 14th is also the middle of Hanukkah. This was the sign, the midweek Hanukkah sign, the middle of the week. Plus we have these incredible signs to confirm to us that this is the middle of the week. The middle of the week plus the middle of the week of Hanukkah. And in the middle of the week, the abomination is set up. 1,290 days. And from this day, the middle eclipse, 1,290 days, is June 26, 2024. 3 more days. Prepare for the third day. Sivan 18, the third day. So I want to share with you a comment that I pinned that came across my most recent video, Climate Clock 624, my most recent video. And I want to share this comment with you, which goes along with what I am saying about the third day. Steve, I seriously think that the start date of the 1290 count is the date of the first vax in the USA, which, as you know, is the 14th of December, 2020. He wrote 2024, but it was 2020. Why do I say this? Because the 14th of December 2020 is exactly in the middle between the 2 solar eclipses that went over the USA, which were 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days apart. It is like 2 spotlights shining to the date exactly in the middle between them, a huge sign. Daniel mentions time, times, and half a time in 2 different verses. But he uses different Hebrew words that for some reason were translated to the same English words. The first is mentioned in Daniel 7:25 and the second in Daniel 12:7. The word time is translated from the Hebrew word Eden in Daniel 7:25 and from the Hebrew word moed in Daniel 12:7. They are not the same words at all, but in our English Bibles they were translated as the words time and times. Daniel 7:25 refers to 3.5 years, but Daniel 12:7 correctly translated is this: And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for an appointed season, and in the middle, when he shall accomplish to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things will be finished. It does not refer to a 3.5 year period at all, but to an event exactly in the middle of a specific season. Daniel 9:27 shows us that it is heavenly signs. The word covenant in Daniel 9:27 correctly translated is divine ordinance with signs. Daniel 9:27, and he shall confirm the divine ordinance with signs with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Daniel is specifically referring to the 2 solar eclipses that were given to us as a divine sign, and then he specifically points to the middle of this time, which is when the abomination was given. Yes, the abomination that forces Jesus out of the body temple and which leaves the body temple desolate. The abomination of desolation, the displacement of Yeshua, means that the sacrifice that Jesus made in the place of the daily sacrifices that the Israelites had to do is removed. Once the daily sacrifice is removed, the sin of the man is revealed, no longer forgiven, which leads to death. This is why I think the 1290 count must be from the 14th of December 2020, which brings us to the 26th of June 2024. And so we have, in 2 different ways from the book of Daniel, the understanding of in the middle of the week, the abomination will be set up. In the middle of the week, in the middle of the season, we have the season here, and we have the middle of the season, and we have the week of Hanukkah, which in the middle of the week of Hanukkah was the same day, December 14th, confirmed by the total solar eclipse over South America. And it was on this day that the full and complete abomination was set up on December 14th, 2020. And so we have 3 days that we have been watching up until now. 2 days we have been watching. June 20th, 1290 days from the first vaccination. June 23rd, which is 1,290 days from the approval of the vaccine. But now we have December 14th, the first vaccine, 1,290 days, brings us to June 26th, 2024. And this is what is shown to us in Exodus chapter 19. From the 15th day of Sivan, prepare for the third day. And this is where we are. June 23rd is Sivan 15. And now we prepare for the third day. And this is what we have, June 26th. So as we were watching June 22nd, June 23rd through June 24th, based on the full moon of June 22nd, I knew that this could not be the day of the rapture, June 22nd. We were waiting for the end of June 22nd, the end of the full moon day, the 14th day of Sivan. So then we have to wait for June 23rd, the 15th day of Sivan, and that brings us to the beginning of our timeline of Exodus chapter 19 in the third month on the 15th day. Now we wait for the third day. It came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. This is where all of these signs are pointing to. We are here. We have arrived. June 20th, June 23rd, and the third day is June 26, 2024. 1,290 days from the middle eclipse. 1,290 days from the first vaccination in the United States. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Daniel 12:11. Daniel 12:11. In between these two eclipses over the United States, there are 2,422 days. The middle day is 1,211 days. 2,422 days from the first American eclipse to the final American eclipse. And in between those two eclipses, the middle day in between, where there was another eclipse and the first vaccination over the United States, 1,211 days. Daniel 12:11. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination is set up, 1,290 days. June 26th, 2024. Prepare for the third day.
Progress on this journey often comes in small increments. Sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back, propelled by the persistent effort of dedicated citizens. And then sometimes there are days like this, when that slow, steady effort is rewarded with justice that arrives like a thunderbolt. This whole week I've been reflecting on this idea of grace. The grace of the families who lost loved ones. The grace that Reverend Pickney would preach about in his sermons. The grace described in one of my favorite hymnals, the one we all know. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
So guys, I'm going to be talking to you about the number 79, and the reason why we did this is because a while back, whenever we were doing the Hebrew calendar year 5779, it's like, okay, what is 79? We really need to wrap our head around that. And the first thing that actually came up is that 79 is the atomic number of gold. Now, like, what is atomic numbers? You know what? If you just look up atomic numbers, the whole chart will come up there, and I think there's like 118. Is that right? Is that right? I think there's 118 numbers on the atomic scale. Some crazy Russian found a brand new atomic something here recently, and it has to do with things like everything that you see behind me has a substance, and you can actually break it down to like 118 substances. Well, the 79th substance is gold. So 79 actually means gold. One really cool scripture that has to do with gold is this word that says, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. It's like an earring of gold. It's like an ornament of fine gold is a wise rebuker to an obedient ear. And that's Proverbs chapter 25. So, okay, so what exactly is gold? What does gold represent? So here in this situation, it represents a word from God, but it's not just a word from God. Gold represents the divine nature of God revealed. So if you're going to do a search all the way through the Bible, like gold represents the divine nature. So the heart of God truly revealed has to do with gold, or has to do with God showing up and being made manifest in a really cool way. You ever heard of these crazy people that be out somewhere praying and gold show up, like in the prison? I don't know if you guys know that story or wherever. Like, what the heck? You know what? It's something that represents the manifest presence of God.
As we're looking at June 26th, this is the 79th anniversary of the signing of the United Nations Charter. As I was looking into the number 79, we found that 79 is the atomic element of gold, and we saw that from the April 8th eclipse. 79 days to June 26th, 79th anniversary of the United Nations, 79 days from the Great American Eclipse. There are 118 elements in the atomic chart, and 79 days brings us to June 26th, and 118 days at the end of the chart brings us to Obama's birthday on August 4th of 2024. And then someone brought to my attention that Barack Obama lives at 79 TURKEYLAND Cove Road, Edgartown, Massachusetts. They bought it for $11,750,000 on December 4th, 2019. So I just wanted to check if this was important here, connecting the number 79 to June 26th, 2024. And so I went from December 4th, 2019, connected to Barack Obama, connected to the number 79, December 4th, 2019, and connected to Barack Obama. What do you know? December 4th, 2019 to June 26, 2024, 1,666 days. Do 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 do. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem, 70 weeks are determined from the order to restore Jerusalem. On the 70th anniversary of Israel, Jerusalem was acknowledged as Israel's capital, as Donald Trump moved Israel's embassy to Jerusalem. 70 weeks are determined. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. The fourth kingdom shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. On the day after Israel's 70th birthday, on May 15th, 2018, there was an exercise that was done called the Clade X pandemic exercise. This exercise took place at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, hosted what they call the Clade X Pandemic Tabletop Exercise on May 15, 2018, in Washington, D.C. The purpose of the exercise was to illustrate high-level strategic decisions and policies that the United States and the world will need to pursue in order to prevent a pandemic or diminish its consequences should prevention fail. May 14th, 2018. 70 weeks are determined from the order to restore Jerusalem. The very next day, the Clade X Pandemic Exercise. The meaning of clade is a group of organisms believed to have evolved from a common ancestor, according to the principles of cladistics. The great ape and human clade. It's a mix of organisms, and they call it X, Clade X. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. 22:34. From May 15th, 2018, the Clade X exercise. They will mingle themselves with the seed of men. 2,234 days later brings us to June 26th, 2024. June 26th, 2024 is 1,290 days after the first vaccine in the United States on December 14th, 2020, which was the middle of the two great American eclipses. December 14th, 2020, the first vaccine in the United States, and from the abomination being set up, there shall be 1,290 days. June 26, 2024. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. A covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week. If you divide 22:34 by 2 to find the midst of the week, you get 11:17. 11:17 is Bama, a high place in Israel. Bama, mixing with the seed of men, and in the middle of the week, Bama. 70 weeks are determined from the order to restore Jerusalem. May 14th, 2018. He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Clade X Pandemic Exercise, May 15th, 2018 to June 26, 2024. 2,234 days. 22:34, a seed. Daniel 2:43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. In the midst of the week, 2,234 divided by 2 is 11:17. Bama, a high place. Lightning from the heavens. Bama. June 26, 2024. 1,290 days from the first vaccine in the United States, the abomination that makes desolate. Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is June 26, 2024. Today we have arrived at the 1290th day from the Abomination of Desolation, the first vaccine in the United States. This is the 79th anniversary of the signing of the United Nations Charter. This is the 9th anniversary of the Obama gay marriage ruling. And this is 2,234 days from Israel's 70th birthday and from the Clade X pandemic exercise, where they began their mingling with the seed of men. 2234 means seed. One of the most important Obama signs we have ever seen was the abomination that he committed at the Church of the Nativity 1,260 days after his Nobel Peace Prize. On March 22nd, 2013, Obama went into the Church of the Nativity and did not show respect at the birthplace of Jesus Christ, defiling that location. From March 22nd, 2013 to June 26, 2024, it's 4,114 days. In and of itself, we have 44 wrapped in chaos and destruction. 4114 looks like a door. And 4114 in the Strong's Concordance is an overthrow. An overthrow that is used 6 times, always and only refers to the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. In these 6 verses, I will show you that 4114 is used only 6 times, always and only refers to the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. June 26th, 2024 is the 9th anniversary of the Obama gay marriage ruling. We are in the month of June, the month of pride, and all of this lines up to the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah on June 26th, 2024. Jeremiah 49:18, as in the overthrow, 4114, of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Jeremiah 50:40, as God overthrew, 4114, Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Deuteronomy 29:23, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow, 4114, of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Isaiah 13:19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew, 4114, Sodom and Gomorrah. Amos 4:11, I have overthrown some of you as God overthrew, 4114, Sodom and Gomorrah. And ye were as a firebrand plucked out of the burning, yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord. Isaiah 1:7-9, your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate and overthrown, 4114, by strangers. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. The overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, June 26th, 2024. I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.